to 9, 10, 11 and 12, and we have 100% retention, then a lot of those kids actually will reach university. And I committed to myself as a minister that by 2020, I commit that this nation's gross enrollment ratio will move from 12.4 to 30%. The good news is that when I started this and I pushed this idea in 2014, we are 6 years away from 2020, the gross enrollment ratio has risen from 12.4 to 19% already. And I will be able to achieve this because the momentum is already in existence, and I will be able to achieve 30%, which means that with 1.2 billion people and more, we will reach that critical mass. 30% of 200 million children going to the university is more than 60 million children reaching university, which is more than any other country in the world. So I do believe that India will have that critical mass of students. Now, having said that, it's not about access alone, it's also about quality. So we need to, of course, in the process, ensure that we have quality institutions and that all institutions are accredited for quality. All that government needs to do is to help and give a helping hand to academic institutions to move forward. But government should not be controlling educational institutions, government should not be deciding what the content of academics should be or courses should be, but the government should only be supporting educational institutions. So the accreditation authorities should not be part of government. These should be professionally manned, and professionals should be accrediting institutions for authority. Unfortunately, that bill, despite the fact that it was prepared in the first year of my being an HRD minister, was not allowed to be passed. And it has still not been passed because of the vested interest that I talked about, and the opposition would not allow that bill to be passed. The other great problem that we have in this country is that a lot of educational institutions make a lot of claims in their prospectus, but when actually kids join the university, these claims are belied, and there is no accountability of the institutions. Because once the kid has paid his fees and he goes into the institution, there is no way that he can go anywhere else. So in a sense, people are fooling, institutions are fooling students and persuading them to join their institution on the basis of certain promises, holding out certain promises. But when you actually go to the institution, those hopes are belied. So I again proposed a legislation where I coined a new offense called educational malpractices. In other words, all educational institutions, if they want to hold out any promises, must have not just a prospectus in writing, but have a website. And if it is found at any given point in time that what they have stated on the website is inconsistent with the reality on the ground, it will be deemed to be an educational malpractice. Unfortunately, this legislation again was ready. The opposition didn't allow it to be passed, and the vested interests didn't allow it to be passed. I tried to bring foreign educational institutions into India. That not allowed to happen. Why? Because the political class has really no vision as to where India should go and what India should be doing to make itself wealthy and strong. And unless that mindset changes, and I think this country is going through a churning process. This country is at this point in time extremely disturbed by the nature of the political class. And therefore it wants to rediscover itself by trying to experiment with a lot of other things. Those experiments, whether they succeed or don't succeed, is only a matter of time. But I think that what we need is academics standing up for academics. In the last 15-20 years, I have not seen an academic in an academic institution talk about the rights of academics and the obligations of the state towards the academic community. It is unfortunate. I mean, academics should stand up and say and tell the political class, this is what the community needs. But academics are more than happy to go to politicians' houses. I'm sorry I'm being a little frank since you say that go to politicians' houses, touch their feet and say, can you, sir, appoint me a Vice Chancellor of the university? Now, how is that consistent with the prestige of that position? How can anybody who aspires to be a Vice Chancellor of a university touch a politician's feet? It is anathema to the very concept of academics. And anybody who touched my feet was automatically discarded. He was not considered for any job. But the point is that this is what is the expectation of the political class. And this is the expectation of the academics, that when they actually touch somebody's feet, they hope that they will be appointed Vice Chancellors. Now, this must change. If this country is to progress, this has to change. At the heart of education is an independent academic institution, and at the heart of education is not the government, not the institution, not the faculty, but the aspirations of the young people studying in those institutions. Education must be looked at through the eyes of the student, not the eyes of government, not the eyes of institutions, and not the eyes of the faculty. And unless we look at education through children's eyes, we'll not be able to deliver for children. Engineering in particular is going through enormous changes. Both mechanical engineering, electrical engineering, nanosciences, all kinds of new concepts are being evolved, which are going to solve the problems of society. The telecommunications revolution has taken place. We're connecting 250,000 gram panchayats with fiber optics. We're going to create an unlimited highway of information through which data is going to flow, whether it's education data, health data. We have a national knowledge network that's going to connect 604 universities, 35,000 colleges. In this process, children studying in one university will be able to take lectures from from a faculty in some other university. The semester system will allow children actually to get credits, even if they are not studying in the other university, through courses that they can take. There's a technology called A-View by which one teacher can actually teach 10,000 students at one time. So there's a whole technological revolution that is taking place, and we are building slowly, this government is building slowly the backbone of that technology revolution that's taking place, so that in the ultimate analysis, the role of the teacher and student will be entirely different than what it is today. The teacher will not be the sole repository of knowledge. It's the student who will access the teacher to have the teacher guide the student. But the student has access to all kinds of knowledge through different mediums, because we are going to build a whole new interconnectivity in cyberspace through the internet and through systems that we are going to put in place. So there is a new paradigm shift that's taking place in the 21st century in the field of education, and especially in the field of engineering. And it's R&D in engineering that's going to actually give us the solutions of tomorrow. And the more we invest in PhDs in the IIT system and the non-IIT system, in the Indian Institutes of Science, Education and Research, in the Indian Institute of Science, and in technical colleges and technology institutions, I think we'll be able to, if government invests and the private sector invests, we'll be able to bring about those R&D solutions that ultimately will bring the kind of wealth that I was talking about for goods and services to be. And we are, it's true, by 2025 we'll have 900 million people in the working age group, which no other country in the world will have. And therefore, in one sense, if we are able to empower those 900 million people, we are at the cusp, we will be at the cusp of being the most wealthy nation in the world. But we need to empower them. The only way to empower them is through education. And at the heart of education is engineering. All the best to you. Thank you very much.